A very good morning to all of you. I'm Dr. Shilpa Khatri Babbar. I have done my graduation from Jesus and Mary College, Delhi University, and have done my MA, MPhil and PhD from Delhi School of Economics, and I specialize in sociology. Currently, I'm teaching in Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, which is an organization affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief about a paper titled Introduction to Sociology. Now this particular paper is taught in the law schools which are affiliated to IP University. This paper is basically to familiarize the students with the subject of sociology. How did this particular paper actually emerge? This particular subject actually emerged. And not only will it be familiarizing you with the emergence of sociology, but also shall make you understand some of the basic concepts which are associated with the subject of sociology. If you look at the board, then you will find that this particular paper is divided into 4 units, Unit 1, which is called Introduction. Unit 2, which is talking about basic concepts. Unit 3, which is all about social change, and Unit 4, which is all about social control. Now, if I try and make you understand very, very briefly about the essentials of the 4 units, then it goes as in, if you look at the first unit, which is Introduction to the Subject of Sociology, this subject will tell us why and how did the father of sociology, that is Auguste Comte, have an urge to introduce this subject called the science of sociology. So what were those conditions in the history of the larger society that actually led to the birth of this particular subject of sociology? At the same time, we shall also be dwelling upon a very, very interesting concept, and this concept was posed by C.W. Wright Mills. Now, C. Wright Mills talks about sociological imagination, how in our everyday life we are actually indulging in something which is referred to as sociological imagination. What is this particular concept all about? Thirdly, we shall be touching upon Roscoe Pound's philosophy titled Social Engineering. And here our focus, because it is a paper which is primarily for law students, so here the focus is going to be how lawyers, judges and courts can actually act as silent engineers, can actually work as reformers, harmonizers, bringing about positive changes in the larger society. Moving on to Unit 2, which is all about basic concepts, does not require much wider explanation as of now in the introduction. The basic concepts here are social groups, our tribes, our culture, socialization. These are concepts which are status and role, very, very elementary level in which we are going to be dealing with these particular concepts in this introductory paper. The third unit is, I personally feel, one of the most interesting unit. Why? Because this particular unit is talking about social change. And where does this particular unit begin from? It begins from social change in the larger society brought about by social reforms. Now mind you, here social reforms, I am not referring to something with a religious tone to it. So I am not talking about bhakti movement or the like, or Sufi movement. I am primarily talking about how, under the influence of the British, there was this growth of a modern philosophy, a philosophy which was based upon rationalism, a philosophy which was anti the various social evils which were being practiced in India particularly. Then after discussing social reforms, we are going to move on to the next realm of social change, and this particular realm is basically located around the world wars, the First World War, and this is the concept of modernization. So there is this industrial revolution which has taken place, and with industrial revolution there is this growing demand for rationality, bureaucratized society, complete democracy. So there is this supplanting of man by something, man which was primarily seen as a religious being in the Dark Ages. So now he is being supplanted by something which is referred to as me, that is me, the rationalized, individualized existence of as compared to the larger society. Now, when we come on to this modernized setup, we immediately move on to another revolutionary era, which I would see where the contemporary globe today is, and that is referred to as an era of modernization, of post-modernization. Now, this particular era of post-modernization is primarily saying that there has to be a liberation from all oppressive scriptures of the past. This particular post-modernized era is primarily saying, well, there is nothing which is universal truth or universal reasoning or universal knowledge. In fact, they say that reason and power should actually be seen as something which is synonymous to prison. It should be seen as an oppressive structure. It is in this particular society that brutality was seen in various masked endeavors. After postmodernization, we shall be dealing with what is referred to as liberalization and globalization. So, under liberalization and globalization, we see that now the Indian markets are being opened to the larger globe. So, there is this intercommunication which is happening. There is this intertrading which is happening. And now, space and time, they do not matter. Because everything from one part of the world to another part of the world is actually communicated and made one. So there is no space boundaries here, there is no time boundaries here. Thereafter, we move on to this concept of McDonaldization. We shall, of course, begin by discussing about the history of hamburgers and shakes and Ray Kroc and franchisee and the 4 pillars of McDonaldization, which is calculability, which is all about uniformity, which is all about predictability, so on and so forth. But at the same time, we shall also be focusing on the concepts of globalization and globalization and how minutely hiding behind this growing rationality, there is this growing irrationality, which I shall explain once I do Fordism also with you. Now, Fordism is a concept which was given by Henry Ford, based essentially on scientific management put across by Taylor. Here, once again, you have these assembly line production of goods and technology, all under centralized surveillance, complete de-skilling. So, individual is actually not mattering at all. What is your specialization does not become essential at all. So, ultimately, coming back to both these concepts together, there was a total absence of individual's own identity. There was a complete objectification. There was a complete commodification. There was a total disenchantment, and this is a very painful part of social change. And mind you, this is also true for today's society, because it is the phase of the society currently which we are undergoing through. Finally, Unit 4. Unit 4 is all about social control. Now, since we live in a larger society, order and conformity are very, very essential parts of the larger society. And to ensure these order and conformity, we have both formal as well as informal modes of social control. So from custom, public opinion, mass media to law, we shall be dealing with all these agencies of social control. So this is primarily an X-ray sketch of the subject of Introduction to Sociology. Thank you so much for your time.